Hello, welcome back to Who Cares? It's a show where we stop pretending that burnout and exhaustion is holy, where we get real about healing and energy and just being a human who's figuring it out. So today we're talking about something that runs literally our entire culture, this obsession with working to the bone, working your fingers to the bone. I don't know. This obsession with working our asses off. The idea that if you're not grinding, if you're not hustling, then you're doing something wrong. Now listen, I'm guilty. I have been a hard worker my whole life. I've told a few stories like this on my channel before, on my YouTube. There's this stigma in our culture that if you're not working hard, you aren't deserving. Now this is bullshit. I'm going to break it down for you today, and I'm going to break down how energy alignment is how you get everything you want. Literally everything you want. I have lived both sides of this. But before we get into all of that, I do have a quick announcement. I created an online community for like-minded people who are into healing, transformation, for people to just connect and make friends and have conversation and just have a community of who have the same values as you. Currently, there's one 3-day mini course on there. However, there will be many more things on there. There will be lives on there. There will be all kinds of things on there. It's something you definitely don't want to miss. So I will put the link in the description. Otherwise, you can find it at the top of my TikTok. It's also on my Facebook. It's also on my Instagram. It's on my everything. I have it everywhere right now. So please be sure to check it out. It is super, super, super fun. We only have a few members so far, but it's really great. So the 3-day mini challenge is all about resetting your power and stepping into this next version of you, the one who's ready to take on your life and be the one in the driver's seat. So I really hope that you're able to do that. Let's jump right into it. Let's not waste any time. I'm ready to go. Honestly, who cares? Because if the secret was hard work, if that's how you got everything you wanted, A, half of the world would be millionaires, right? And B, I'd have a friggin' Bugatti right now. I really would. Because I have worked so hard my whole life. I have held, at some points, 3 jobs at a time, okay? I have worked doubles back to back to back to back at my job, running my ass off. I've always been a hard worker. I started working at 14. Actually, if you count babysitting, way before that. I think I started babysitting at like 10. Something like crazy like that. But the thing is when you're constantly pushing and forcing and grinding and working hard towards something, you're sending a very clear, direct message to the universe that I don't have it. I can't have it because I have to work and work and work and work, and it makes it farther and farther and farther away. You're sending a very clear message. You're vibrating in lack, which is acting as a repellent towards the thing that you want. Your energy gives off, it's far away, which means I have to fight for it. Versus the energy of when you're in alignment and you're relaxed, things flow naturally to you. When you place an order on Amazon, you don't have to sit there and fight for it to be yours. You don't have to fight to know that you're going to get it. You relax. You know that it's going to show up on your doorstep, right? You don't fight for it. You already know it's yours. You already have it. It belongs to you. You paid for it. It's yours. It's your thing. When you act in alignment, you take inspired action, not desperate action. Those two energies are so different. Acting in desperate action is operating in lack. That is what repels the very thing that you're trying to get. So if you want money and you're working more hours, that's sending a sign to the universe saying, okay, I'm going to work more. Even though I don't have it, I'm going to keep working. Even though I still don't have it, I'll keep working more. Even though I still don't have it. What is that doing? Now, don't get me wrong. I get it. I'm not naive. You can't sit on your couch and meditate your way into $1 million. I'm not saying that manifesting isn't work too. You got to meet the universe halfway. I'm not naive to that. There's a huge difference between working from inspiration and working from fear. Fear of not being able to pay your bills. Fear of not being able to, buy food for your family. Fear of not being able to XYZ. Fear says, if I don't grind it out, it won't happen. Versus alignment says, if I stay in my energy, I know exactly what to do next. The steps come to me. And the gag is when you stop forcing, the ideas flow faster to you. When you stop forcing, things flow naturally to your life. When I started my whole YouTube journey, okay, I would sit, this is so funny, I would sit and I would do an hour of research before every video. I really would. And then my videos would turn out like shit. You can go look at my first ever YouTube videos. They're so cringy. They're so bad. Because I was forcing it. Because I was nervous and I didn't know what I was doing. But B, I was trying to force these videos to be good because I wanted them to be so good because I wanted people to like them and I wanted people to get as much out of them that they could. Versus, after I got comfortable and used to it, I stopped forcing so much. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to turn the camera on and let whatever needs to come out and let it flow naturally. And now it's like sometimes like if I have ideas, like I'll jot some plotting points down that I want to speak on so I don't forget, but other than that, like I don't do all this research beforehand. I have my I have my trauma informed in my NLP, so like I'm educated, don't get me wrong, like I know what I'm talking about, but like I don't do all that. I come down to my office and I just spew my stuff to you because it flows. And like I said, I get these ideas and I write them down because the universe just flows and gives them to me. Because it's aligned, it's inspired action. It's not forced. I'm not forcing it to hit. I'm letting it come to me. When you finally, let your energy just align and stop, your energy stops screaming, I don't have it. Oh my God, it's freaking out. Like, I used to be so anxious, especially about money and paying my bills, that I would, like, pick up all these hours. I missed years of my kids' lives. My 2 older sons, like, their first few years of their lives, I was working constantly. I was working doubles back to back to back. They spent all those years with their grandparents, which, like, I'm grateful that they had that relationship with their grandparents. But I missed out on so much. I worked holidays. I didn't get to see them. So then I changed my energy. I was like, well, I'm done missing out on their childhood. I'm done giving up all this time for my kids for a job that I'm replaceable at. That I'm not, like, I'm working all these hours and I'm not rich. So what's the point? Working all these hours. At that time, I was still living in my apartment, barely paying my bills. So I was like, screw that. I'm not going to keep doing this. So I stopped working all those doubles. I didn't work doubles for years. So next time it feels like you're forcing something, next time it feels like you're really pushing something and it doesn't feel like it's just flowing, pause and ask yourself, am I doing this from alignment or fear? Fear that I'm not going to pay my bills. Fear that this person's going to leave me. Fear that it's not going to work out. Fear that I'm going to miss this opportunity. Am I chasing or allowing? I recently got my first brand that reached out to me to do like a brand deal. And they offered me good money for it, which if you've been following my journey, I have not made money from social media whatsoever so far. Like, I have not made anything. So it was exciting to have somebody reach out to like offer me whatever you want to call it. It was exciting. But it is not aligned with my brand at all. And I would have made great money from it, honestly. More than I make from my job. But it's not aligned with what I do. It's not aligned with my message. It's not aligned with my brand. So I turned it down. Now, if I was acting out of fear, I would have done it anyways. Because, well, what if nobody else reaches out to me? What if I don't get an opportunity to make money? I want to make money. This is my first time making money on social media, XYZ. That would be acting out of fear. However, I know that I will have plenty of opportunities in my career to make money. When I'm acting out of alignment, those will flow to me. That was not aligned for me. That was a point in my career where I needed to make the right choice for me, for my brand, for my, for you guys. And that was not an ad that I was willing to put on my channel. So if it feels like something is forced, pause, really think about it. Feel in your body if it feels like you're forcing it or if it's aligned. If it doesn't feel like it just flows naturally, it's not aligned. Then it's forced. If it feels like you have no other option or you're scared of what could come next, That's acting out of fear. Because the universe will always provide. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of what's going to come next, because no matter what, you think it wasn't scary, like buying a house that was like, let's see, 5 times more than what I was paying in rent? Of course. But I know the universe provides. And it's been fine. So know that it's going to be okay. Don't act out of fear if it doesn't feel right. And feel what it would feel like if the thing you wanted was already done. So like for me, had I accepted that ad offer for something that I did not accept, I pictured making that video for them and putting it on my channel, on my TikTok, whatever. It was for TikTok, I think. And it did not flow. It did not feel right. It wasn't aligned for me at all. So that's how I knew, no, I can't accept that. It's not, the money is not worth it. But if it was something that was aligned for me, then that would have been the energy that magnetizes. If it feels like it flows, that's the magnetizing energy. That's what's right. If it feels like, something that's right, if it feels like a gut feeling, like yes, like for me, my gut feelings are never wrong. I was just talking about this the other day, but I've never once had my gut feeling be wrong. And that's how I know to always listen to my intuition. So if your gut is telling you something, don't ignore it. Picking up hours at work because you're afraid to not be able to pay your bills versus, missing time with your kids, that's acting out of fear. Then you're going to be burnt out. And then when you do have time with your kids, you're too tired to enjoy it. I know from experience. That's not acting out of alignment. And you want to know what's wild? Most of us were raised to believe that love had to be earned. That's where this mindset came from. Approval had to be earned. You had to work your ass off in order for your parents to actually see you. When you grow, when you're a kid, and you learn that that's how you get love, or approval, or success, or validation, then you bring that with you into adulthood. So when we grow up, we're still trying to prove that we're enough. And that includes by staying busy. Rest feels wrong. Rest feels like we're doing something wrong. We can't rest. We can't take a day off. That's bad. You see somebody taking a day off? Bad. I got, when I started taking time for me at my job, and I would, get days off, people were so rude to me. They're like, of course Kinsey gets that off. Or Kinsey doesn't have to work weekends. Kinsey gets Fridays off. Yeah, because I don't want to work them. And I do what I want in my life. Dead ass. That's all that you have to do. And they could have done it too, had they had the right mindset, but they were all in lack mentality. So of course they looked down on me because deep down they were jealous, insecure. They had lack mentality. They didn't feel like they were worthy of having, weekends off because they thought that they weren't worthy of rest. Which back in the day, I didn't either, and I worked Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday doubles. Rest feels uncomfortable because deep down our nervous system thinks being calm makes us unworthy. But ease is not laziness. Ease is safety. Ease is your sign that you're actually in alignment. When things flow and come easy to you, that's a good thing. They should. Things should be flowing to you. You should have opportunities coming to you easily. Things should feel too easy. That's a good thing. Things shouldn't be hard. That means you're ignoring your intuition. That means that you're on the wrong path. Things should not be difficult. We are trained as a society to think things should be hard, that we're undeserving. Stop acting like exhaustion makes you so special, makes you such a hard worker, that's such a good thing. It's not. That's putting you so far away from your purpose and the things that you want. When I stopped acting like hard work was a good thing, which, okay, let's talk about that for a second. How did I figure out that hard work wasn't actually a good thing? When I had no choice but to stop working for a few weeks because my entire life fell apart and I had no one to babysit, and I had bruises all over my body, and I'm a server, so I really couldn't go to work for a few weeks. I had a lot of time to do a lot of healing work, and I couldn't go to work, obviously, so I stayed home. And then all of a sudden, even though I wasn't working, so much started flowing into my life. All of a sudden, daycare came to me out of nowhere in a town where there's no daycare. A daycare just so happened to be opening where there was no daycare. And there just so happened to be 2 spots left for my twins. Exactly 2. Exactly when I needed them. That was great. It just so happened that an apartment at my old complex had an opening just a month after I needed a place to live. Just so happened. And it just so happened that as soon as I discovered my love for, wanting to help other people heal, a free coaching course fell into my lap. And then more and more and more and more opportunities just so happened, ironically, to fall into my lap. And then, random other things like a TV, a brand new giant flat screen, somebody just happened to give to me. And all of these other things, like I could go on and on, but like so many things just came to me. You can call it lucky girl syndrome. You can call it whatever you want. It's alignment. It's alignment because I stopped grinding. I stopped working. I fixed my energy. And I knew that I don't have to work for things. Obviously, yes, you have to put the work in. But I was putting my work in the wrong place. I was working so hard for somebody who didn't appreciate me. I started working for myself. I started putting the work into my future. I started putting the work into, okay, what do I want to do? I want to be a coach. Okay. Started putting work into my education, into myself, into educating myself on how to be a coach. And then all of a sudden, more and more and more opportunities started coming to me. Now, isn't it funny how that works? So the more that you invest in yourself and not into others who are, I'm sorry, don't give a shit about you. At the end of the day, yeah, they might care about you a little bit, but at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, they care about themselves. When you start investing in yourself and your future and in what you want, that's when things start flowing to you. When you get into alignment with what is best for you and your higher purpose, then things start to flow for you. When you stop trying to people please, when you stop trying to prove your worth to other people who don't actually give a shit, at the end of the day, everybody cares about themselves. Everybody's thinking about themselves. In every interaction, everybody's thinking about themselves. Nobody's actually thinking about you. 2% out of the interaction everybody's having, they're thinking about you. Everything else, everybody's thinking about themselves. So stop trying so hard to make everyone else happy and start caring about your future, yourself. What do you want to do? Why are you working so hard for a boss that doesn't actually care about you? And if you're happy in your job, ignore what I'm saying. Then that's not for you. I'm speaking from what I went through in my experience. If you're happy where you're at, then I'm so glad for you. But I wasn't. That wasn't for me. I had a very big eye-opening experience as to where I was going in life, and it was not serving tables for somebody else. But what I do want you to know, whether that hit for you or didn't, is that you are deserving of rest. Exhaustion is not admirable. I don't care who you are. Exhaustion, it's not something that you should be proud of. It is not something that is going to get you anywhere. And you can't function at peak level when you're exhausted. So whether you're working for yourself or somebody else, get some rest because that is the most admirable thing that you can do. Care for yourself so that you can care for others. You're allowed to receive with ease. Because if we're being real, the version of you who's calm and confident and rested and unbothered, they are able to receive with ease. They are able to attract whatever they want. They attract way more than the version of you who is running on fumes, putting everyone else first. How are you going to change anything if you just keep running on fumes like that? How are you going to change anything when you're barely keeping your eyes open? All that coffee's not good for you. That's a whole nother subject, but coffee's terrible for you. It's terrible for your nervous system. It's terrible for everything. I know you love those pumpkin spice lattes, but let me tell you, coffee's terrible for you. Okay, it's really bad. Sorry, I didn't mean to ruin your day with that. But you're talking to somebody who used to get a venti caramel macchiato with 2 extra shots. They actually had to cut me off one time because I tried to get more than that, and they told me they legally can't do that. If you got anything out of this episode, let me know. All of my usernames are @KinseyRose. I would love to hear from you. Other than that, I will see you next time. Bye.